Hello and welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Welcome to Saturday. We got a fun show for you this weekend. We're going to be building a 4-states QRP kit, and we got a panel of YouTubers out here to make it a little bit more fun. We're also going to open up the Zoom to anybody that happened to buy the kit and wants to get on the stream with us. So if you are going to be building at home, you're all set up to do so, and you're building along with us, consider joining us on the Zoom. Got a bunch of YouTubers already in the chats there. See a ton of people. Thank you for coming out. T.O.'s in the house. Digital Analog Ham. The Smoking Ape, what's up? Hey, there's Andy. What's up, Andy? Very good. Thank you for coming out, everybody. I appreciate it. All right, let's open this up because we got a lot of kit to build. What is up, everybody? Oh, there I am. Took a second. What's up, everybody? Josh KI6NAZ back again with the Ham Radio Crash Course. We're going to be doing a live kit build. Haven't done one of these in a while. And basically, this all came about. I had Steve, Good Game Ham Radio, and Outdoors on the show, and we were talking about kits for his Padawans, and we said, well, you know, here's something we can do, and we put together, thanks to a lot of your support, actually, all the super chats and all the donations went straight to the Padawans. We got them a Hako soldering iron and a bunch of these 4-state QRP 40-meter kit, and we kind of all said, well, let's just build them live, and so we can at least see what it's like, see if they work, how they work, you know, how it is to build them, etc. So we're going to do that today. So thanks for coming out. And again, if you are interested in joining us, you're welcome to, but hopefully you're building the kit. We're letting people on that are building the kit. So if you're not building the kit, well, just watch us build, and you can watch and live vicariously through us. Again, thanks for coming out. This is the Ham Radio Crash Course, trying to create kind of an inclusive space for everybody in ham radio. We call it Moving Forward with Ham Radio, as we kind of talk about our journey and what we learn. We implement what we learn, grow a little bit, learn a little bit more, have a lot of fun while we're doing it. So again, thanks for coming out. All right, real quick, because we do have limited time here. I know how long this kit takes about to build, so I want to get to that quickly. If you're interested, we have the merch store, hamtactical.com. You can check that out. The link is in the description. We have a couple of new things, actually the same things from last week. We now have long sleeve shirts. Where are those long sleeve shirts? Because that was something that was asked of us. So there you go. Long sleeve shirts for some of the stuff we have if you're interested in doing that. Very cool. Podcast went up. The antenna is the heart of your ham radio station. The link is in the description for the podcast, which I do with my wife, talking about different things in ham radio. So check that out if you can. Thank you very much. All right. Where did this come from? Right there. So there's what I wanted to pull up. So we did the live stream with Steve, and again, thanks to everybody for your donations. It was really awesome, and this is a really cool radio if you're kind of new to kit building. It's fun to get started with. It's also kind of all you need to play around with Morse code, which, you know, for a lot of people, that's an interesting place to get started because it's kind of inexpensive. It's difficult, but it's not out of your reach. It just takes a little bit of time. So hopefully you'll find this interesting. We're watching the chat too. Let's see who we got in the chat. Right on. Hey, Levi's in the house. Hello from Cypress, California. He's my neighbor, literally down the street from me here. Very good. Hey, K8MRD's in the house too. Thanks for coming out. Ham Radio TV's there too. Awesome. Got a ton of the YouTubers in the house. Appreciate you guys swinging by and watching us. All right, what's the last piece of news that I want to talk about? Links in the description as well for some of the kit that I use. This is just a place for me to kind of mentally combine everything, so when I get asked, hey, what would I use to get started in soldering and kit building, all the gear is here on the Amazon store for the Ham Radio Crash Course. If you buy off the Ham Radio Crash Course, I am an affiliate on Amazon, so I do get a little piece of the action there. It doesn't affect the price, but just so you know, that's what that is. It's an affiliate link. No pressure to buy there, but it's just a simple way for me to have a list. Daniel Mulatto, K32EF, thanks for all the content, Josh. Cheers. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And lastly, before we open this up to the panel, next weekend is the ARRL November sweepstakes, which is an interesting contest. It's supposed to kind of model emergency traffic handling a bit. So the exchange is a little long. I've done a couple of videos on contesting, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this one. We may live stream the contest. I haven't completely decided. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. And all right, last thing, Cricket 40. The radio we're building is the Cricket 40. Shout out to the 4 States QRP group. Really, really good stuff that they do. So if you're interested in what we're doing and you want to do it on your own, the link should be in the description for that. Otherwise, you can just search for 4 State QRP and you'll find it. And we're doing the Cricket in 40. They also have it in 30 and 80 meters, I believe. Okay, let's open it up to the panel here to say hello. Whoop, there we go. All right, so we have, to my upper left, we have Astro Leah is in the house. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a
Right
good
on.
day.
So we've got links for all the YouTubers in the description, so make sure to check them out. I'm on the upper right-hand side. Lower left-hand side is Steve, K5ATA, Good Game Ham Radio and Outdoors.
What's up, guys? Good to be here. Thanks again for the support of the Padawans, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, again for the support. And then we have Chuck, KK6USY. How are you doing, Chuck?
Doing great. Hi, everybody.
All right. So again, we're going to open up the Zoom here. We'll drop the, I guess, Zach, you can probably drop the link. And we're monitoring who is joining, and we'll let you in if you're building. But if you're not building, don't join. It's okay. No big deal. No pressure on that, and we'll have you join us if you're building the radio along with us. So with that said, let me slide over here to my operator seat, and I hope I'm not. I'm gonna move myself unless I'm gonna pretend like I'm Steve, like I can sit down here in the corner like that. That might work. That might work well.
Great. Now you're looking over my shoulder.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on you. I'm over in your shack now.
Just don't drink the coffee.
All right. Let me swing my mic over. Oh, that's not going to work because my mic, is it? No, I'm just going to hide myself because we can't see Steve. So let me do that now. All right. Okay. All right. So let's see. Where's the first thing to start? Well, I'm going to open a beer. That's the first thing I'm going to start with. And I have an AleSmith .394 Pale Ale that I'll be drinking today. Now this is again 40 meter CW kit. It does come with 2 crystals so that you can move around a little bit. It will cover technician and above technician. So if you are interested in building this, now you know you can work this with your technician license. If you haven't already, switch on your soldering irons. Probably a good time to do that if you haven't. All right. So I do have the instructions here next to me, and I will talk through some of it as we go. But basically, the first step for this is to break off the legs of the boards here. This is your actual key. Your CW key is attached. So just kind of carefully pry it off. And
Carefully break.
Yeah, carefully break. What this guy is it's a keying interface if you want to connect a straight key to it. This would sit flush on the keying side, and it's got a little headphone jack kind of thing that you can connect there if you wanted to do an external keying switch or like a straight key. So keep that if you want to do that. And this is your regular CW paddle, so that can go on the side for now. I am using a kind of a Panavice type device contraption, so I'm going to put the board in the vise now. All right, so who just joined us? Tim, how you doing? Oh,
You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted there.
Hey, Tim. Good to see you.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks for making it out.
Yes.
All right. Okay, I'm just kind of doing my final little tweaks. Okay, so the first thing to start out with is we're going to mount the battery to the board. And there's 2 legs that come with the battery. So match them up And then we're going to make sure we've got the right side. The positive side is going to be on the right, so orient the legs appropriately. And get it into the board.
Who let the dogs out?
All right.
Chucking his dogs.
So one of the advantages of this little Panavice is that you can rotate it really easily, which makes it nice for soldering.
I'm already jealous of that.
All right. So what I do for this is just kind of rotate it over, however you're going to do it. And this is a bit of a kind of weirdy position to be in. Tin your solder on the tip here and see if you can just get one of the pins to stick. And then at that point, the battery should stick into place pretty well. And then you can go through and tack one of the other legs and hold the battery to the edge, to the back side there while you're doing it. Then go back and do it on the other side. Now you should just be able to solder all the ends without much of a problem. Is everybody that's on the panel fairly comfortable with kit building?
Well, this will be my first one.
Okay.
Sweet.
So, yeah, feel free
I
to...
have my dad to help me if anything goes wrong.
Oh, that's true. Temporary offline is... His camera is offline right now. But he's in the background there helping Leah, so that's great. And again, he is on FT8 if anybody wants to operate with Steve. Okay, so did everybody get their legs on?
Not warming up, Dad.
All right, where's the chat?
So Leah's having some issues with the ground plane on the outside of the board. The battery connectors are real close to that ground plane, and you got to give a little bit extra heat to them.
Ah, okay. All right, I've got the chat room pointed right at me, so...
You might be able to turn it up a bit, too.
Kevin Morrison, remember this is only an exhibition, not a competition. Yeah, we're not we're not trying to speed run a radio build here because we want this to work at the end. And we will tell you this is a mono, whichever crystal you put in, it's mono banded. So we'll try and make some contacts at the end. I'm not the greatest CW key, but I know Steve. I think Steve knows CW. So maybe Leah's will work right out of the box and Steve can jump in there and make some contacts.
Exactly.
Leah knows CW as well.
He was talking about you, Good Game, not me.
I know half CW. I got about half of it.
Tio, you know CW too, right?
I know a little bit. I haven't touched a key in a long time, though. I'm kind of rusty.
Well, we'll go real slow if anybody's able to make a contact with us. I think we're going to be on, was it 30? 7 dot... Yeah, 7.030 is one of the crystals we'll probably use. And again, this comes with 2 crystals. Okay, in the chat, is this with Morse code? Yes, Samuel Robinson, this is a Morse code build. Everybody's asking, what's the green grid? That's a cutting mat. A lot of us use those for our radio videos. It seems to be a good contrast against radios.
It's also fantastic to stop you from burning your desk.
It is, but they're not the best for soldering on. I've burnt through them pretty bad before when I, like, you accidentally put a soldering iron down, you forget about it or something, and it's like, oops.
Yeah, so they do make silicone mats that are supposed to be heat resistant and good for soldering. I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them. See, the problem I have with those is they're like blue. They're like a light blue, at least the ones I've seen. Yeah. I think those are bad contrast for video. I like the grids. Like, something about the grid, whether it's green or orange, it seems to do better. I don't know.
Yeah, and Good Game's got the same thing. His is just red with a, what is that, a white grid, Steve?
Yeah, and then it's dual sided. The other side is orange with black.
Oh, Hunter colors, Harley colors.
So how we doing on the post? Did everybody get them?
I think we're good.
All right, so it's pretty straightforward. The build is actually really straightforward. It just walks down the resistors, and then it goes through semiconductors and capacitors. So all you do really is just go down the list, looking at the color code or the values. If you have a multimeter, you can just read off the values and just start putting them in place. So we'll do R1 first. I'm just going to go with the flow. I generally will place a couple of parts and then solder. Again, this is no kind of race, but we just want to make sure we all get to the finish line together. So R1 is right here where my finger is. And what they do that's nice, I have a parts tray here that I'm working off of. When it's resistors that are ganged of 3, like you're going to place 3 of them, they'll leave them stripped in 3s. So if you still have, 1 left over, you're not done. So R1 is a yellow, violet, brown. So yellow, violet, brown. You'll see it on the leads there. Hopefully. Anyway. So I take my little needle nose and I fold the ends over. And that generally should just pop right in. Like that. Brian, I keep inadvertently scrolling back to look for comments, forgetting this is live. Yes, we are live. We're live building this thing. All right, we're already soldering, so I'll catch up here. I take my diagonal cutters at that point and just snip the leads off. I've mentioned this in other videos. I like to hang on to the diagonals, and at a certain point, though, you get to, the legs, the trimmings. Once you do a couple of kits, you'll have a ton of them, but they're good sometimes for jumping if you need to jump between things. There's some kits that actually require it. Ooh, hey, in the chat, somebody's got a rhyme. Rob Ferguson, yellow, violet, brown. That is 470 ohms. That's correct, if I remembered the rhyme properly. So I don't know the rhyme. Does anybody know the rhyme?
Well, there's a PG version and there's an R version.
Okay.
Let's stick with the PG version.
Yeah.
Wasn't it something about violet does? I don't know.
Yeah, keep it PG in the comments. And for those that are watching, we will be doing an after chat, just like all the other Ham Radio Crash Course live streams. So if you're interested in joining us over there, the link is in the description for all of our social medias, Discord, Facebook, you name it. Is everybody gone on to the next resistor?
Yeah, just
Yeah, I've got the second one.
Okay.
We're going to do the read the color codes by using a multimeter trick.
There you
that's
go.
how I did it.
The ones that seem to be giving me the hardest time are the capacitors these days. Some of those, the silk screening on there is just atrocious. Or like it didn't completely print, you know?
So there's no competition here, but I was checking out Astro Leah's channel earlier today, and her Earchi 9-to-1 video is doing better than Smoking Ape's Earchi 9-to-1 video.
What?
Oh,
saying.
wow.
Yeah, she's like 500 views ahead of him.
Did they post at the same time relatively?
No, she went on Antenna Night, and he did his a couple of weeks before. But also, her video on Antenna Night did better than his video on Antenna Night. I'm just putting that out there.
It's no competition. I love Uncle Ape. Come on.
Now he's
Like
gonna
your
join
dad's
the.
throwing the gauntlet, though.
He's gonna join the Zoom right now.
Yeah.
So I've never done a group build on my channel before. This is the first time we're doing this. So we're trying something new. Kind of seemed the right thing to do after, again, all the support that you all showed to Steve and the young people that he's teaching. So it felt like the right thing to do that we'd walk through the build that you guys helped help support. So thanks again for that.
Thank you. And I'm going to be leading with the rest of those kits the same build with the Padawans. So
Yeah.
the ones that have gotten really proficient with soldering and whatnot, they're going to do this build themselves.
This seemed like a good thing to do, you know, so you could run through it. It's
Yeah.
not hard. You would have been fine, but, you know, why not, right?
I've not built one of these, so.
Neither have I.
Give me a good excuse to play with Morse code some more.
Now, I've always said that, you know, for those of you that are interested, I say this in all my kit builds. You know, kits aren't for everybody, but I find that there's, particularly when it comes to soldering, there's kind of like a Zen component to it. Like I kind of get in the mode, and I don't know, it's very relaxing for me. Anybody else
I
feel
love
that way?
doing it.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
do too.
75% of what I do on my channel, and the smell of solder is fantastic. The sense of accomplishment is good, and if it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
work after a while, you start to learn how to fix things.
Yeah, the smell of solder is awesome. You should see the other kids that aren't in my classes that when they come walking by the hallway and it just reeks of solder and coffee.
So Leah was asking me if the resistors are polarized or directional, and they are not.
Yeah,
them in
none of
any old
these
way.
are. Oh, did I screw up?
That's a good point to point out, though, because, yeah, some things are, some things aren't. So
No, I did not. Okay. Thought I screwed up there. I did not. I don't know what's more
Josh-
stressful. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Steve.
I was going to say, that device that you have, how wide does it get? You know, like, could you put a Commodore 64 in there?
No. No, no. I mean, that's it right there.
Okay, that's max.
that's still
Okay.
pretty sweet, though. I like that.
It's good for radio kits. I wouldn't put a Commodore in there at all. I don't. Well, it wouldn't. You couldn't. You couldn't put it in there. Somebody said we need a little action. Somebody grab the hot end of the iron. Nobody do that. We're not doing that for views.
I smell bacon.
I don't need to go to the hospital tonight.
You can.
There's one of those stock photos you can get off of the stock photo library of some girl holding a soldering iron like it's a pencil and she's writing with it.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
It's probably for like. Oh no, yeah, it was a stock photo. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if they probably used that on some double E program in a college.
They won't notice.
Come to learn how to solder.
Also, for anybody that's never done one of these, when you cut the little electrodes off the back, make sure you hold them so you don't get one in the eye.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
good tip.
Just take all the fun out of it, why don't you?
I snapped one and I swore it hit 3 walls. Pew, 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 pew.
You can hold on to them. That's what I generally recommend.
And I hadn't even considered the fact to hang on to a bunch of them for jumpers and stuff. So that's good.
You know, if you got a little, a little pill bottle or something like that's the same shape, kicking around, just throw all of them in the air.
Josh, Armando in the chat is asking what the name of your vice is.
Good question. I don't know the name. It's linked in the Amazon store. Maybe somebody can go check it out and post in the comments. It's not a branded deal. It's it's some Chinese knockoff thing. But I don't know what the primary. I don't know if one of the major companies made anything like this. I don't know, but. How's everybody doing?
Just being one of the resistance. Out of curiosity, how many people are building it at home but not in the Zoom in the chat? That'd be curious to.
Oh yeah,
Well,
who's? Good question. If anybody's following us along, or following along with us, and you're building this, let us know. It is a very easy build, I will say that. The silk screening's really nice. It's really hard to kind of mess up. The only way you're going to mess up with this is having the polarity issue with the diodes. And there's one capacitor, I think, that is polarized. Troy says he's home building. Right on. Little thing I do is I do a couple at a time. I'll place them, and then I'll just, with my finger underneath, I'll kind of fan the legs out a bit.
I remember like 3 years ago, my dad got me a kit build like this, but it wasn't an amateur radio. It was just like an FM radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have that thing up in my room.
Oh, that's
My
what.
first soldering project.
Yeah, that's what the Padawans are working on now. One of those Elenco FM radios.
Yeah, I
You
think
still
that's
use it?
exactly what it was, too.
Do you still use it, Leo?
She
Well,
streams Spotify.
Yeah, it's not a cell phone.
We're not allowed to have our phones upstairs, so if I do want to listen to music upstairs, then I do break out the old FM radio, go old school.
Right on. Are there like good FM stations in your area?
There's one that just plays classic rock all the time, and that's pretty much the best you can get. Otherwise, it's just country.
You could do worse than classic rock. So.
Yes, that is for sure.
Super chat from James.
Hey, James, thank you for the support. Appreciate it. So I know Steve is, K5ATA Steve, is drinking coffee. What other beverages do we have out there on the panel tonight?
I've got a fat tire.
Right on.
Sorry, water.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I was about to say, a nice tall glass of water.
Oh, is Jason in the house? Oh, there he is. Hey, what's up, Jason? Jason is at a wedding right now, so he couldn't make it. He's at a wedding, so he'll probably be doing one of these builds at some point. So you'll catch up with that, or he'll do something. I think Frank's got one too. Frank also was busy, so we're bummed out they couldn't join us. But yeah. All right, how are we doing on resistor? The resistor portion of the build.
We're getting there.
All right.
I might be last. Sorry.
No, it's
you're
fine. I can catch up on the chat, so that's fine.
You are definitely not last.
I just hit I'm going to R11 wherever that's at.
Okay.
I'm not going in. I'm just kind of going in order of how I've got them laid out for the resistors. So I got a few left.
Now they do have little check boxes on the instructions, so you can be hitting the check boxes as you go, which helps. I will say I didn't used to do this. I had a fairly laissez-faire attitude to kit building. I would just open it up and start building it. But I got burned a couple of times on a stream. This is probably less important for you home builders, but I was doing it on a live stream, and the parts were actually wrong. I got a couple of parts that weren't correct. So I actually do an inventory now when I plan on doing builds, just so that I don't have to go try and pull through a parts bin to find a capacitor or a resistor I need. Or worse, I actually had to cannibalize another project to get the part I needed to do the live stream. I did that live, so that was a lot of fun. This is a great radio to build on a live stream, though, because we don't have to roll any toroids.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things about this kit is the elegance of those 3 built-in inductors there.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Leah, do you have the battery in? Take that out.
So L4, that's the kind of bluish green one, right?
Yeah.
Should be.
That's the last one.
Yeah.
Leah, you were fine. You were still doing resistors, but at some point, I don't know. If you get to capacitors and diodes, the battery could be a problem early. I don't know.
The kiss of 9 volts.
Yeah. So I'll walk through my kit while everybody's catching up. I am using the Hako. I have now completely switched over to this. Before that, I had a station that I got from Radio Shack. It was a pretty nice kit. This is a far superior iron. It's really, really nice. The grip on it, the little chisel tip on the end, really, really nice iron. Real simple. The vise, really cheap vise. I think this is God, I don't even think it's $10. I don't remember what this is on Amazon. I am using a parts tray from iFixit. It's not really designed for through-hole parts, but it does okay with capacitors. It's when you have long items like diodes and resistors that it's a problem. Transistors are all fine, though. And it's a non-static tray, so that does pretty well for me. Yeah. I am watching in the chat, so if anybody wants to jump in with a question. Michael Rogers asked, Josh, what do you think of the cold soldering irons? I've had one for many years, and I still haven't used it. Well, you have one. I don't. You should turn that on, and then you can tell me if you like it. I'm guessing that it's probably a lot of hype because all the industries still use heat. So, anybody else use a cold soldering iron? Have you seen those before?
Never. Haven't.
There's a really cool USB iron that a lot of people have been talking about. I know Adam Savage did a one-day build where he built a soldering station and used Ryobi drill batteries to power it. It's a pretty cool little iron. K4NFP Radio Electronics says, I own one. It's not good. Big time. Not good.
That answers that.
Yeah. Stefan or Steven Holtap asks, what's the cost of the kit? What was it, $30? $30-something?
35 maybe.
Yeah,
And
it's not wasn't that much.
I didn't cover it, but now's a good time to cover it. In fact, let me... No, I can just talk to it. I was going to pull the website up really quick, but the website that does the 4 states QRP, they actually have like a group that they kind of work together to make contacts after they build the unit. So it's a pretty cool little kind of tight-knit community. You pay $30 and you get access to this, you know, kind of an interesting group of people. It's $33.50. But right at the top here, click to join the Cricut support and information group. And it's a groups.io. And they actually do meet and they have QSOs. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool group. Tank asks, what solder do you use? To me, it makes a huge difference. I used, when Radio Shack went out of business, I cleared out a lot of drawers at the old Radio Shack. I used the 6040 rosin core solder. I've been
That's what I have.
still working on that for a
Radio
while.
Shack.
Works fine.
I've had it for a long time too.
Yeah, when my Radio Shack went out, I went and picked up 3 of those, and I still have 2 of them left.
I ended up getting a whole bunch of toolboxes, empty, cheap plastic toolboxes, and I think I filled up 4 of them on through-hole components and just electrical components from when they went out of business. I kind of went nuts when I was there.
So over here, I want some more lead, so I got the Kester 6337.
Ooh.
This little green guy is what, L4, right?
Yep.
Apparently, I did not write that one down.
I started off with no lead solder, thinking I was going to be all like health conscious and all that other stuff, and quickly decided it's not good.
Yeah, it just doesn't work very well. I think the other thing that I would tell people is don't mess with the sponge. Just get yourself one of those Brillo pad cleaners.
Exactly. I gave up on the sponge about a year ago.
Yeah, I wouldn't even bother with it. Oh, K4NFP had the right move. When the local Radio Shack went out, I got a box full of pegs for the pegboard. Flux. So green ice melt. So the solder has rosin. I also have this. If I screw up, I have a rosin pen, or sorry, flux pen, and a solder sucker. I only use the flux pen when I am desoldering. I hardly ever use it when I'm soldering a project together.
Yeah, I always use the flux when I get stuck. It's kind of like 4-wheel drive in a truck. Turn it on when you get stuck.
Right.
I'm going to make some friends with that comment.
BS Trickler. I've never had an issue with the sponges. Yeah, you know, that's fine. I just like being able to clean the tip without having to go get water or anything like that. You have to replace the sponge every once in a while. These things last for years and years and years. All I do is I pull the Scotch-Brite out and I just shake out the solder pieces. They fall to the bottom. That's it. That's all you have to do. How are we doing on Resistor Town? I'm
done with resistors.
All right.
I got to that last resistor L4 and I couldn't find it for a second there, and I found it. It was a mini heart attack though.
Yeah, I'm very methodical now on how I do kits because I've dropped things. I used to do tape, like a laid down bed of tape on the work area, which is also really nice because the upside down tape, like if you use blue tape, like painter's tape, that works really well because you can just put the pieces directly down on it.
Oh, that's a good idea. You could even write on it what the values are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll be stealing that.
Yeah, for stuff you do, Steve, yeah, I can imagine that'll help because you generally are working with more parts than a regular little CW kit, right?
Yeah, I built an entire computer on my channel over the last month or two. And I have another computer I got to finish building.
That's
and
a ton
I built
of
a bunch
parts.
of radios.
If you're into that, go sub to Steve. He's also linked in the description. Temporary offline. Check him out. What was the computer you built? Commodore?
It was a Commodore 64. It's the 60 clone. It's a brand new motherboard that somebody painstakingly, Rob P.O from UK, went over the schematics and did it up in KiCad or Easy EDA and went to PCBWay and printed it out, and you can get the board on Tindy for $35. I was like, I'm in.
Ooh, cool. Have you seen that YouTube channel, the guy that builds a computer out of a breadboard? He's got this really ridiculous breadboard setup.
Yeah, Ben Eater. Ben Eater's a
Yeah.
pretty cool dude.
That's wild.
I'm not there yet.
That's cool though. All right, I'm gonna start going on semiconductors now. So we're moving into the second portion, which is these semiconductors here. I've also laid those out, and again, you'll notice that most of them are the 2N7000, so there's just a ton of them, and so I just have a little pocket of the little iFixit tray that has those in it. I will show you what I do, and then you guys can do whatever it is you do.
Not right.
I just take the semiconductor and I hold it kind of right out of the base of it where it gets fat, and I just kind of hold it lightly, and I just rotate a little bit to make the leg kind of flex out. And then I put the needle nose back in there and just push it in a touch. And that gaps it enough that it'll slide in the board. That's generally...
Show me that again, what you did.
Okay, so I'm holding it like this. Can you see it okay?
Yeah.
And then I'm just kind of taking the needle nose and just kind of pulling away, so fanning it out.
Right.
And then I take the needle nose and rotate it, and then I just push it in a little bit to straighten it. And then that gives me the gap. See the gap?
Yeah.
So then Q1 is... I might not gap these enough, but we'll see. But that's the concept. Am I looking at the right thing? Jeez, where am I? Q1. Let's see. So did I gap it right? Yes, I did. So like that.
It's important to note these actually have to go in a certain way. So
they do, and the board matches. So if you can see my screen there, the board is all screen printed, so that you get the exact alignment. And really, it's important for the transistors, obviously, but it's really important for the diodes and the capacitors that are polarized again. I'm sure we'll mention that once we get to those pieces, but you want to make those, you want to make sure that those are right, because it won't work. And there's nothing worse than having to desolder because you didn't do the polarization right on a diode or a capacitor. Major buzzkill. DB Cooper, did you get yourself put in timeout, bud? Hey, are you the same DB Cooper from back in the day? Post in the comments if you know what I'm talking about.
I him on that before.
And I'm not talking about the DB Cooper of lore and myth. I'm talking about from...
Oh. That was the one I was on, sorry.
Oh no, yeah, I mean not the parachuting DB Cooper, the DB Cooper that I knew when I used to do some other live stream stuff.
Josh is trying really hard not to give it away.
No, it's the gun community. You got to make it sound mysterious, right? You got to...
You were working it. You had everybody on the stream just
I know,
at the edge of their seats.
Oh, what is he talking about?
How's it coming, Tim? You doing good?
I think so.
Me too.
Well, we'll see. I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah, don't feel rushed. We'll help you through it too as you go.
No, I think I've already made a mistake, but I'm moving on.
Well, I mean, that might not be the right way.
Well, it's and I couldn't find the one spot. It's something to do with the resistor. I don't know which one I messed up. I just don't know which one. I can't find it. At least right now.
You run out of parts, it'll become apparent in the end.
It will, yes.
I'm grabbing a pen because I'm gonna I've decided that there's enough of these 2N7000s that I'm going to note which one I just finished or placing so that I don't. Because there's a lot. There's 6 of these things.
So Chuck, just a pro tip on your helping hands that you've got your board in. If you put some shrink tubing on those alligator clips, it won't scratch the finish on your boards.
Oh, yeah, actually, I've got one that has really long arms that bend around, and it has little rubber fittings for those. And I've got a couple extras. I should put those on. You're right. But that board's so high that I can't work on it here.
Travis Brennan with the super chat. I just passed my exam yesterday. Amateur
Awesome.
extra.
Ooh,
Congratulations.
Sweet, good job, man.
congrats.
And he wants to know an HF rig that we would recommend for under $300. How close is that G90?
About
four and a quarter on sale right now at MFJ.
He's 150 away, but I would tell you to save up and get that. To be honest, there's not a lot of good radios that are sub 300, unless somebody knows in the live stream here. Unless you want to do CW, then go get yourself a mountain topper, but that may not be where you want to be.
And you may have an option asking around your club. Maybe somebody's willing to sell a gently used, decent radio too.
That is always a good idea.
I've had a couple of good older. I bought my first Kenwood, the TS430S for $100.
Oh yeah, I mean you can go used, yeah.
I am staring at my Kenwood 430S when you're saying that, Chuck.
Huh?
I said I was staring at my 430S when you were saying that.
And I have a 440 that somebody gave me that's totally loaded. It's not perfect shape, but it's got all the filters in it.
Yeah, the best thing you can
do
is
good radio.
Best thing you can do is put a feeler out on your local club. You might wind up with 4 free radios before the day's over.
That might be the way to go then. Check used, particularly for that price range. That makes it a little harder.
If you want to do a kit build, there's always Diode X for about 210.
Oh yeah, you could do the Microbit X. That's true. That's a real hobbyist radio though.
So is that the kit that as you put it together, he's got instructions? You know, you get like 4 parts in, and he's got a test for you, and then 15 parts in, you can do another test to make sure that you're making appropriate progress.
He may have that now. I know when I built it, there wasn't much of that, but there is a lively community for the Microbit X.
Maybe it's a different rig I'm thinking of.
I know the Elecrafts are all like that.
It's an Arduino-based radio?
No.
Okay, so there's an Arduino-based kit that you can get that's got like a little LCD screen and everything, and as you get the board together, he's like, plug it into the power source and put your test leads on these 2 points, and if you get 12 volts, you're good. Now go on to step 7, you know.
Oh, interesting.
So it's really good for learning, and I really think more kits should be built like that, because a kit with 100 parts, you get 12 parts in and make a mistake, and by the time you get to part number 100, you're dead.
The Elecrafts like that.
Yeah.
So the Ubit X does have an Arduino-based version.
Okay.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Josh,
Normally what they do.
Yeah, what's up?
So for D1, is that the D1, 2, and 3? Is that the diodes?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are those glass things, so be careful with.
Yeah, they say to put your. I watched a video where the guy said to actually put your small pliers next to it to bend it. Don't bend it without having something hold it.
Yeah, the glass will break. Good point on that. Are you already there? So good for you. You're ahead. But yeah, careful on that one. And I have.
Chuck's only there because he lost parts in his couch over there.
Yeah, I don't have all the parts, so. So I was telling everybody that I was checking all my stuff out, and I knew I shouldn't do it on my couch. And I was sure I dropped something, but I guess I was just I don't think I really did. Because everything's here. Well, I think. We'll see.
So I wonder if the Four States QRP group built this kit this size because of physical interactions or because of needing to space out those toroids.
I'm thinking a bit of both, but definitely the toroids, right?
Yeah, because that battery pack takes up a big footprint on the board. Battery pack, the 9-volt.
Yeah.
And then the key takes up some space on the board. So I mean, it could be very elegant design, or it could be, good fortune.
They might have just been like, use the real estate. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's not that small,
Okay, so a note on the diodes again. You want to be careful because they're glass, and they're tiny, tiny, tiny. There's a little piece of paint on one end, black, and it needs to match the silk screening on the board. The good news is they're all the same, so the diode spots are all going to be, you'll see them on the board and you'll know where they go. They're silk screened. Makes it easy. Oh boy, we're already 10 minutes to the hour here.
Oh,
We still got more to go.
we're good.
And one of the cool things that'll happen as you're building kits like this is you'll start learning a little bit more about how electronics works. I'm actually surprised at some of the stuff that I picked up. I've got no background in electronics kit building or component level stuff like this, and I'm like a year into building stuff, and I'm really surprised.
Oh boy, there. I just lost these. Got stuck on my desk and I tried to fish it out and it jumped.
What piece?
Almost lost a diode. Then I would have been going to the parts bin. So.
Playing a little catch up here. I'm still on the semiconductors.
All right, so the electrolytic, the white line, is on the negative. So just make sure when you find the electrolytic space that the longer lead denotes the positive lead. So that goes in the spot for the positive lead when you place that.
Long positive. Got it.
Long is positive. Okay.
Got it.
7.
Wouldn't have known that.
Here's keys.
So Northwest Ham Shack is asking about anybody built a 49er, and I built one, and it didn't have very good instructions, and it was one of the first kits I bought. I passed my general test, went into the Ham Fest. I'm like, $2, I'll take it, and I got what I paid for.
Did it work?
So I actually was not the first person to turn it on. I took it to another club that we have here that's a builders club. So the Ham Club meets Saturday morning, and they leave the building by like 10:30, and then the builders club comes in at 11 and goes for another couple of hours in the same building. And while we were building another kit there, the guy who's the president of that club grabbed my 49er and plugged it all in and said, "Hey, this thing's great. You did a great job." I'm like, "Oh, cool." Because when I bought it, I didn't know CW, and I didn't have the right, power lead for it or anything. So I built it, and it works. Cool.
Oh, so
I didn't know.
You had a third-party QA.
There it is.
Yeah. And this guy brought in a wire-wrapped Intel 8080 board that he had built for one of his thesis projects for his degree.
Wow.
I'm like, this thing's beautiful.
Somebody asked, how am I holding the diodes to fold them? Well, I already soldered them, but so all I do is I put the needle nose. So if this is the diode, the glass of the diode, I hold just right up against it, so that all the strain of bending the wire is going against the needle nose, and then I take the other side and fold around the needle nose, so that none of the bending force is against the diode, because if you bend against the diode, you'll crack the glass. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I wouldn't stress out about folding them over. I mean, just get them close enough to fit in the holes, really.
Yeah.
It's not a science.
I just pulled them in once I got them close.
This isn't
Very
rocket
carefully.
surgery.
So I didn't put the big capacitor in.
No, I was just pointing out that since we were talking about polarization.
Okay, so it's not there yet then.
No, I threw it in just for the hell of it because I was talking about it, but no, it comes later. That U1 is this guy, the IC.
Yeah.
These can sometimes be fidgety, so also this is keyed. So there's a notch on the U1 position right here, and the notch corresponds to the right side of the socket. Interesting. There's 4. So why does this have a socket that's 3? But
You
the
end up having
in half.
Yeah, those are for the crystals. It's not actually for you directly solder the IC in there. You don't use the socket.
oh, so this is for the crystals? You're
Yeah,
supposed to
we'll
cut it
end-
down the middle?
Yeah, we'll cut it down the middle and then take that middle leg off.
Oh, when I built this the first time, I just had the single row socket. Okay, never mind. So the IC then, the dot is the U. And it should, as long as the legs aren't tweaked out.
Leave it to the teacher to have read the directions before starting the lesson.
He's the one that's going to have to try to lead a bunch of 13-year-olds through this. So yeah.
Reminded to touch a piece of metal to ground yourself before touching an IC. Because static can break those.
Well, we'll find out if I grounded myself enough.
Too late.
Oh, Tim just dropped something.
Oh, it's one of those little pieces that I just cut off, shot back at me.
Shoot your eye out, Tim.
That's why I got glasses.
Yeah, I mean, good game. If I can
follow along pretty decently, then
Holy
you
echo
should be able
that,
to do
man.
fine.
That was me, sorry.
Yeah,
Yep,
come on, Dad.
They'll be all right. They'll have a good time with it.
All right. IC's in. Somebody, Twitch, Woodoo Weasel, or Wodo Weasel? I'm not sure what your comment is in reference to.
And then John Bloodworth is asking if the chip is a 555 timer, and I don't think so, but I'm not looking at it.
No, it's not. It is a NJM 2113. Oop.
So the NJM 2113, all it is an RF power amplifier. Designed for telephone applications.
That sounds about right. I don't think this is that complicated of a unit.
Well, this thing all grew out of the telephone grew out of this. Somebody's got some ASMR soldering. I just heard some rosin core.
All right. How we doing on capacitor town or semiconductor town?
Good.
D1, D,
I'm almost there.
finishing up with D2, D3.
Next, we will start on capacitors. We're a little more than halfway on the build, so hopefully we'll be done in 2 hours, in a full 2 hours to get her done.
I just got flashbacks to being like on an airplane, and the flight attendant comes out and says, "We will be landing in approximately half an hour."
Please return your drink tables to the upright and lock position.
Exactly.
We will be coming through the cabin to pick up any trash. Hey, Bell Row 17. I passed my technician and my general today. Very good. Congratulations.
Woohoo! My favorite part about air travel is that they call it a terminal. That makes me feel confident.
It's like a terminus.
Okay, so
So just to remind everybody, we got a panel of people that are building on the Zoom, and there's some people that are building at home, and this is kind of all, for those of you that are joining us late, this is all kind of a byproduct of the live stream we did with Steve, Good Game Ham Radio and Outdoors. This is a live build for the Cricket 40 QRP radio. This is the radio that we took the donations we got on that stream. And I think, what did we get? How many radios did I end up sending you, Steve? I forget now. I know we got you the Hako and how many radios?
I think there was 8 or something. I'd have to count again. There's a good stack of them.
It was like 8 or 10 or something. But anyway, so those radios went to the Padawan, so they're going to build this radio with Steve. And they're interested in CW, so who knows? They may join the Long Island CW Club in not too long here. And Leah's in the house. She's a member as well. I think I'm a lifetime member.
I made some really, really good friends through that club that I still do Zoom calls with to this day. So
I might know one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Uh-huh. I got a text from her this morning.
Hopefully it's not that my dad stole my 705.
No, it was happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. All right, so the IC is keyed. I guess I'm blind. I don't see which way it's going.
The dot points to the U.
There we go.
On the
That happy birthday was Leah's birthday today. She's doing her birthday live stream with Josh.
Oh wow! Happy birthday! Oh wow!
Happy birthday.
That's congrats.
happy birthday.
I realize I'm going to need
Thank
something,
you.
so you guys keep going. I will be back in 1 minute because I got to grab a speaker. If I'm going to show you how this sounds on the air, I'm going to need a speaker.
U1.
The custodians at my school already hate me with all the little bits of metal and stuff on the floor. They're going to love me after this.
And take a little piece of magnet and put a piece of saran wrap around it. That
Oh,
works
no,
real
that-
well for the little pieces of metal.
That takes all the fun out of it.
Or what I do is I put a magnet on the side of my wire cutters, and they just all stick to the side of the wire cutters.
That's it.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I'm now charging a speaker so that we can demonstrate that this thing works when we're done.
What's this thing like? 750 milliwatts or something like that.
I don't. Tiny. Whatever it is, it's tiny.
I'm always afraid that the power is not going to make it to the end of my coax.
Oh, you know what? I think we had this problem before, Uncle Jed. The speaker won't work. The wiring is not traditional. I think you're right. We'll see.
Two pieces.
Specs on the website are this thing takes 80 milliamps and it puts out give or take 0.7 watts.
Woo!
Big money.
Yeah.
Power.
All right. I'm going to start throwing in some capacitors here to move
All
it
right.
along a little bit.
Capacitor time. Now, didn't you say one of these matters which way it goes? What is that?
The electrolytic, the cylinder one.
C14. Okay.
Little soda cans.
This one. Here. Is this itself?
I need better glasses.
C2 is right off the coil, L1.
Yeah, I got it.
Took me a second to find it.
Wait till you get to one of them where it looks like you've already put something in the hole. 'Cause it's right next to it.
Yeah, I was trying to look at these ceramic capacitors, and man, my eyes not good for that, man. Some of these are bad. They're really hard to read.
It does.
Oh, there's the 100U.
All right, so we're on capacitors, step 5. There's a whole list of them.
So the big one is the 100U thing?
The electrolytic, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, so I was messing with my radio and I turned it down to quote unquote 0 RF power on FT8 and I still made contacts.
Oh, wow.
So this cricket should be good.
And Josh, you said the long is the positive?
The long is the positive, that's right.
Okay. I used to know that.
I remember that from LEDs for some reason.
Jeeper Creeper says 1 watt is all you need.
You're right. That's what I knew it from, too.
Oh.
Is that a boom whacker in the background?
Oh, somebody's texting me.
Got a hot date?
Nope, just somebody I think's watching.
Oh, you're famous now. We're putting you on TV.
No.
Michael Rogers says dipole antennas for 10 meters. To use this kit, will have to build an antenna for 40 meters. And yes, you are correct. You will need to build a 40-meter antenna to transmit on this.
And then fed half-wave.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a 10-meter antenna, so he'd need a 40-meter antenna.
Or you just get a really, really fancy tuner and get rid of another half the power, so you're putting out 0.3 watts then.
Don't ground the antenna. You might lose all your power. Path of least resistance.
Yeah. Where's the C17?
Stephanie, violently. Okay.
I don't
Oh.
get the 101 things.
I made a mistake. I did make a mistake.
Oh,
That would have been bad.
C5.
Those little tiny capacitors have such dinky little legs that if you have to like desolder and cut them and redo it, it's a real pain. So take your time with the ceramic capacitors and make sure you got them in the right spot. David Wood, I ordered my Cricut 42 late for it to arrive by today, so I'll be watching this again. Right on. Thank you for watching twice. Appreciate it. It's pretty straightforward though. As long as you just follow follow your checklist. That's the silk screen number, right? That's where you're going to look on the board for the corresponding alphanumeric value. That's the value for the component, what it is, and then where it's numbering or label or whatever on the unit. Pretty straightforward.
I just got K8 MRD on FT8. I can imagine him over in his ham shack doing his little happy dance. It's I sent him a -08. He sent me +03.
All right, the other ones that's kind of funky is the C5 and C9. There's two of the same capacitor, same label 101, but they're gapped differently. So just keep in mind when you get to that, if it's not fitting, it's probably because you got the wrong one. Also, it's on this paper-backed card that's really hard to cut.
I just cut mine off the thing. I couldn't get it out of there.
Yeah, you can't pull it like you can with resistors and whatnot, so you kind of have to... You might just want to cut it. In fact, I'm just going to do that. Cut it out.
All right, this is where it's going to start getting hard because I can't read some of these.
Yeah, the capacitors, some of them are really hard to read.
I can't read any of it. I got to have a magnifying glass.
Getting old sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny part is I can read the labels on the capacitors from halfway across the desk, but I can't read the speed limit coming into town.
Wow.
I'll be sure and call the sheriff on that one.
All right, let's catch up on some soldering here. I haven't really mentioned soldering. I don't know if there's people that are kind of new to it, but just my approach to it is I'll touch there's a pad, right? There's a silver pad right here. I'm going to touch the iron down on the silver pad, and very shortly after that, I'll come in from the other side and apply the solder. And I'm trying to touch the iron to the pad and the lead that's sticking through the hole. And I'll just tap it for a second, remove the solder, let it sit for a moment, and you'll almost see, like, if you're watching, you almost see like a drop, like the solder will kind of just like start to flow, and that's how you know you're soldering correctly.
Oh, thanks for the tip. I wasn't doing it that way.
There's also like a little flick you can do at the end, like when you're done, you can kind of just run up the side of the leg of the whatever it is you soldered, and that seems to take off if you fed it a little too hard, or you potentially made like a bridge if it's in close. I don't know. I've always found that if I flick it, it's I don't know why. It seems to work pretty well though if it's close.
Territory.
I just got K4YNZ. I know you guys are all riveted about my FT8 progress.
Where's the K4YNZ?
That's southeast US, Florida-like.
Tennessee,
Okay.
places like that.
You still on 40?
Yeah, I'm still on 40. I was on 20 for a minute, and I something freaked out about my laptop.
If I can hear you, I might be able to get you a cool call sign.
Awesome. Mike K. Emerdy wants to know if we cannot talk about polar vortex. Apparently, it's turned into the 75-meter weather band on the chat room.
Uh-oh.
better than the 75-meter health band.
I think so.
Like Smoking Ape says, polar vortex is fake weather. We legitimately do get polar vortex up here in Wisconsin. There's like a couple of days where we'll get to like minus 35, minus 40. And you can just see it on the jet stream.
Maybe that's why I've never heard of that before.
If the polar vortex hits California, Chuck, we're all in trouble.
We're in trouble.
I was looking up. I was in Salt Lake City a long time ago, and I may be going back, and I was looking up what the coldest temperatures were in Salt Lake City, because when I was there, it got down to like -13. I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that. So I looked up what the coldest temperature was. Turns out it is it has the record for the second coldest temperature in the continental United States, and there's a basin outside of Salt Lake City that it got to like -59. I was like, geez, whoa, how? And it turns out that this basin is super high altitude, and then also a depression. So all the cold air sinks down in there, and it's like never not at the freezing point. Even during the summer, it's only a couple hours or days where it's not at freezing temperatures.
So Paul Zoba in the chat is asking, what temp are your irons set to? And normally I run 640, but as you can see on the outside rim of this board, you've got that big ground plane. So we've had to jump it up to 840 a couple of times to get some extra heat into that ground plane. How about everybody else?
I've been 650 this whole time.
Mine just has numbers, and I'm set at 5.5.
Awesome.
I get the cheap version, you know, $30 one.
Mine's cheap, $450, I think it says.
Yeah, so I normally do 640, and then if I have some trouble, I'll crank the heat up. I don't even know where I got 640 from.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like it would be a standard number, right? Like a default setting?
Ethan says 850 or bust. Send it. The last time I said send it out loud, I broke my collarbone.
Fun day. That was not fun. Dad was like, hey, there's a frozen lake. Let's go take the ATV on it. And I quote you, he said, let's go do stupid stuff. And then he flips the ATV and breaks his collarbone, and I got a crash course in driving with the trailer.
See, you'll remember that always, and you learned a valuable skill that day.
How to properly load a trailer, how to tie down a load, how to drive a pickup truck with a trailer behind it.
Do you look over your shoulder the whole time you were loading and stuff?
Look over my shoulder. I didn't have to look over my shoulder. It was permanently moved in front of me.
She was loading stuff.
No, I helped them load it.
Oh, okay.
It's not that bad. I mean, a couple of hours later, it was really bad. But when it happened, it's like, all right, let's, adrenaline sets in. Let's get all this stuff fixed. Let's get back in the truck. Let's get off the frozen lake. Let's stop being stupid.
You can never stop being
Smoking Ape will be happy. I got my collarbone story on the air again.
Got my Smoking Ape shirt on.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. That's a good looking shirt.
Somebody's got to represent.
I found it finally.
It prints it printed really well. I've got one too, and it looks really good.
I have the Smokin' Ape sticker, but you know whose sticker I don't have? Who I keep telling to send me a sticker, Steve Goodgame.
Yes, ma'am.
I never.
have those stickers.
I'll send you a couple. There you go.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Text my daughter and tell her to remind me.
I have called her and told her to tell you like 10 times at this point.
Yeah, but she's worked, and like seriously, during school, she and I see each other like very few hours a week. It sucks.
See, we were Zoom calling the other day, and she even held up the holographic version and was flashing it in my face, and I was like, come on.
I've got it right here for you.
Uh-huh.
Hey, send that over SSTV. We'll get it right away.
There you go.
Yeah. I will comment for those of you that get to the capacitor area. The capacitors that are blue, the silk screening on it is really hard to see, but if you hit it with your phone's flashlight, it seems to reflect. The brown silk screen will light up really bright if you hit it with the flashlight. So recommend that.
Anybody know which one the 331 is?
Oh yeah, that's that blue one. It's one of the blue
It
ones.
is blue?
Yeah. Did we find the one you potentially lost?
I think I was good. I don't think I lost it. I think I was imagining it.
That was Tim, I think.
So, yeah, I got 2 blue ones. I can't even see anything on one of them.
Tim's over there with 4 magnifying glasses.
Yup.
I'm about to go buy one of those. It would make the video probably look a little bit better too. I don't know.
I think this is too.
So there is on Amazon, a friend of mine sent me a link. I mean, everything's on Amazon, so I don't even know why I said that. But it's a USB microscope video camera capture. So you see like a 7-inch video screen,
I have
but
one.
it also does output. So
I have one. They're
Yeah.
crap. If it's the same one I'm thinking of, it's not good.
Kind of like those cold soldering things.
The problem I had with it was that that it also hogs it hogs up my USB ports for some reason. It seems to draw a ton of power, and I couldn't put more than 2 webcams on and do a live stream and have that thing connected. Okay, so last blue one, same kind of thing. You can't even see the silk screening on it, but if you hit it with the flashlight, it's not going to come out on video very well. But
Mine looks like it says 82. Oh, that's 320.
820 pops up really brightly when you use the flashlight.
But I don't
And
see a
it's-
320. What the heck?
Excellent.
Or is that 820? Maybe that's 820.
All right.
One of the blue ones 820?
Yes, that's the last one on the
What's
list.
going on now?
It goes to C1.
C1. It's going to go on now while I can tell what it is.
That's probably a good idea.
Loyal, are you seeing me on FT8?
I got you into my personal call sign. I'm trying to get you into my club call sign, but you keep responding to other people now.
I got a pile up going on over here. It's almost like there's 300 people that know I'm doing this.
Yeah, I was your first person to pile up.
What radio are you running right into?
This is the 7300.
Ah, yes. I feel like I'm missing a part. What goes there? Oh, that's the crystal.
I'm gonna try and get the old Kenwood boat anchor 430 on FT8 just for grins.
Cool.
I literally, when I got that radio, I plugged it in and it quote unquote didn't work. And so I was going to get it out and do a video on like going over it and repairing it and everything. And I found out I just like had a switch turned to the left and it should have been turned to the right. So it's all fine.
Cool. Nice to be able to reuse an older radio too, right?
Yeah.
Keep that on the air.
So I've got 2 of those. If somebody says in one of your club newsletters, news groups, groups.io, whatever, that there's a silent key that's looking to get rid of equipment from the estate, jump on it, because nobody else in the club is going to, because everybody else has got a whole bunch of stuff, and I wound up getting a ton of ham gear for a ridiculously low price. I gave her money, she kept giving me money back. I'm like, no, take it. This stuff is worth more than you're getting
Oh
here.
man, wow.
And she was just giving it away to some charity anyway, but I mean, I walked out with like 4 radios for $400.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I got the Kenwood, and you're gonna hate me when I say this. I got the 430S, I got a 570, I got a KX1,
Ooh.
and I got a K1.
Ooh.
And the K1 I gave to the friend of mine that went out to help me look out all the stuff and see what I was doing.
So KX1, how many radios do you know that have a map light built in?
Yeah, I know.
I love that radio. I ended up getting one myself. I just, I'm not very good at CW. Always chasing it. I told myself I won't buy a mountain topper until I actually feel like I'm semi-confident. All right, so I'm most of the way there. We're just getting to the point of doing some of the larger chunky bits. How's everybody else doing?
Still got some capacitors left.
But Josh, is one of the other blue ones a 681?
The other blue one is... So you got the 820.
I did the last one.
And then the 391 is the other one. And that
390.
goes to C6. Yeah, C6 is the other blue one.
Okay. 181.
I'll just go with that then. I can't read it.
Hey,
If I can...
I'm getting you, Steve.
Oh, good. I can do this.
Awesome.
Will this work?
You like that call?
This might work.
Oh yeah. That's the club call.
Yeah.
I'll
good.
let you put
All
it out on the air if you want to put it out on the.
So, I'm working, Steve, with Whiskey Echo 4, Delta X-Way. It's part of the Ham Radio Adventures Club. We normally
Ooh.
go on the expeditions, but since COVID shut us down, we're doing little things here and there of a few people meeting up at POTA, stuff like that.
And you gave me a -18, and I gave you a -3.
Yep, and your -3 came back at -20. -18's the best I had you at. But it
Are you
worked.
remote hams right now, Loyal?
Yeah. I'm only putting out 500 watts.
Only.
Only.
So where is the remote ham station located, Loyal?
New York.
Okay.
It's only because it's thundering at my house right now, and I don't want to put my radio on right now.
Yeah, thunder season was over like 3 months ago for us. We're into second winter.
It's like a hobbit. Second breakfast.
I will note as people are moving on, the B and C connection, anything that's along the ground plane, Steve's already been talking about this a little bit, you may have to temp up, or when you get to one of these big pads, throw a lot of solder into it, kind of let it pool up, and then take your iron and kind of like wrap it around, and then hold it on both sides. It'll start to flow, and then flip it off. Flip it off. There you go. And then it'll bed itself, so you can hopefully see that. See how it's a little mound? The focus is not right. Hold on. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's what a mirrorless camera will do. It's a little pyramid shape. That's what you want it to look like.
And these are physical interface, human interface connections, so they're going to want a lot of solder to make sure you don't break them off the board. They're not like little tiny resistors that nobody's going to touch.
Yeah, pour it on there.
Okay, I have 3 capacitors left. I got a K2J and a K1J, which is nothing on that I see.
What?
Flip it over.
Yeah, flip it.
There's stuff on both sides.
Oh, wait, I did flip one of them and there was nothing. Okay, that was easy. 331, 681. I guess I flipped the one that didn't have anything on the backside.
They're talking about clearing snow off the roof and making snowbanks around the house, and it's funny, by the end of the snow season, I can just stand on top of the snowbank and just reach up and grab the snow off the roof.
Oh, jeez. You don't need a ladder anymore.
No.
My dad's is like that, but they've got such... Is your roof really high banked? Do they do that where you guys are?
It's a really high-pitched roof. I don't like getting up on it.
Yeah. That's like my dad's up in Big Bear.
He makes us get up there instead.
Nice.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's what my dad did to me when I was a kid.
And look how normal he turned out.
Hey, your bones will heal quicker.
Let's go do stupid stuff.
Get on the roof and clean it off. Go.
Hey, Bubba, watch this.
All right. So where are we at?
C14, the long leg's positive, you said, right?
Yes. Yes. Somebody playing Space Invaders in the background?
That's my fire radio going off. Hang on.
Oh.
Me.
Like your pager? You're a volunteer firefighter as well?
I am.
Oh,
I have
man.
so much time on my hands.
I was going to say, geez, man.
On C12.
All right, so there's going to be 2 headphone jacks. I'm jumping way ahead of some of you. I'm sorry. I'll just make a note of this and I'll wait a little bit. There's 2 headphone jacks. Save the other one because it goes with the interface that I talked about earlier. This just clips in here for the CW interface, so save that. How's it going, Leah?
I've been doing pretty good so far. I've got all the resistors, all the semiconductors, all the capacitors. So
Excellent.
I'm hanging in there.
Did you guys see Callum's video he put out today about laying the nebula down on the ground and still making contacts?
No, I haven't. Oh man, I'm gonna go. We'll talk about that in the after chat, I bet.
Yeah, so I put a comment on his video. It's like, literally the best antenna you have is whatever's lying around.
That's true. That's true.
I'm surprised at what you can do. Like, you start out, you're brand new, you've got your license, you don't know how to put an antenna up, and everybody tells you a G5RV is a compromised antenna, and you shouldn't use that. It's like, but it's what I have.
Right.
Use it. Put it up.
Yep.
Better than the one that's still in a box. Jason.
Jason has a ton of antennas, though, I noticed. When I watched his shack video, he has a ton of antennas, like around kind of his shed that he's got. I mean, he's got videos for months and months and months if you've ever just started blowing through all of them. It's pretty cool, though. He's got a couple of beams that I'm jealous of. Doesn't he have like a 6 meter and a 10 or something like that? Or was it 2 meters, maybe? I don't remember.
I think he's got a 6.
I think it was a 6.
He's got 6. I know. I've encouraged him to put it up because my buddy in Indianapolis talks to Texas almost every day on 6.
Oh, wow.
Yet in California, we hear nothing on 6.
Yes. Yeah, who's the one that always... Don, N5 SKT. He's always talking about 6 meters and how he's always making contacts on 6. And I'm like, man, what are you talking about? Out here, we don't have any of that activity.
Well, unless it's open.
I
I've
mean,
got into Tennessee. I've gotten to Tennessee area a couple times, but the guy that I'm getting in there with is like one of the big guys. That's all he does.
Yeah, he's got a massive antenna.
All of his family has passed away, and that's his thing. And he's into those two. He's into 2 and 6, I think.
Interesting.
Really nice guy. Seems Howard.
6 is kind of tough though because it's seasonal, right? I mean, when it's open, it's seasonal.
Yep.
Oh, these things are tight. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Got the right screws here? Jeez. So there's the CW key is just screws with spacers, and these spacers are extremely tight. I can't do anything with them. Holy smokes.
Okay.
You're going to have to ham harder, Josh.
All right. Let's see.
Interesting. I'm going to have to, like, hit it with the soldering iron and soften them up or something.
Sorry.
18 to 181.
Well, we're at the hour and 30-minute mark. We're still going. We're going to test these things out, I promise, before we cut it and go to the after chat. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. We're doing a live build of the 4-States QRP Cricket on 40 meters. Cricket radios, they've got a couple of different bands for this. There's a 30 and an 80. And there's a bit of a community, groups.io community, on actually building them up and using them. And there is a net, I believe, that goes with this radio for making contacts on this radio. So if you have a technician license, you can still use this. It's CW only, though, so you're fair warned. It comes with 2 crystals. Comes with a 7.03 and a 7.122 megahertz crystal. And it is crystal locked. So when you build this, it recommends, and it actually gives you the parts, for setting up what's called a pin header right here. And so what we'll do is we'll just trim these crystals to fit, and then we'll socket them in, and we can swap them out as we need to. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how we did when we wrap up the build. Yeah, that's the one thing, is that sometimes the build videos, they can get a little slow and people start to, slide off a little bit. I think our peak was just over 300, but then people kind of get really pot committed to see, like, oh, is this thing going to actually work? He's going to put power to this? Is it going to actually, work? And by the way, I've had live streams where it doesn't work. It happens. Particularly doing live video and a kit build. You think, oh yeah, I'll just turn the camera on and we'll go live. It's not as easy as you think. It's actually quite stressful. Lesser people crack under this pressure.
Oh, I have
I'm
a question.
kidding. Go ahead.
Does it matter the power switch which way it goes?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'm kidding. It's just this is an easier build. There's a lot of parts to it, but again, the fact that you're not having to wrap toroids, oh boy, that's worth the price of admission.
Leah says, which one's the power switch? The one that looks like a switch?
It's the only switch in the kit. This kit does recommend using nail polish on the threads for these when you final mount it, but I guess I'll have to go bug my wife about that. I was listening. What podcast was I listening to? Ham Radio Today.
8060M.
Ham Radio Today or something like that. What's one of those daily the big news ham radio podcasts? Well, all I care about is that mine is on the top when I search for ham radio. So that's all I care about. I'm kidding. But where is it? No. It's a really good one because they do this really cool history. The Ancient Ham Radio Archives is one of the segments that they do. Boy, it's good. But they were talking about like a really good thing to have. No, was it Smoke and Solder? It might be Smoke and Solder. The Smoke and Solder podcast. No, it wasn't them. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll just tell you what the point is. They were saying, something ham should do is right after Halloween, go to the Halloween stores and buy all the wild colors of nail polish, like the neon reds and yellows and blacks. And they work really good for like paint on, liquid tape. You use nail polish instead of liquid tape. So if you got like an outdoor antenna, your connection, stuff like that, hit it with nail polish. It's a really good, cheap alternative. You do have to check on it like, once a year, that kind of thing. But that's a really cool tip, and particularly if you get it really cheap. So why not? That was my ham radio tip.
Josh, you said you were going to cut the live stream and go to the after chat here soon?
Oh, so I think we finish. If everybody's pretty close to finishing, I think we finish and we test them live. I think I think everybody will riot if we cut the stream without at least testing a couple of these. And then we'll go to the after chat for anybody wanting to ask questions or just open ham radio discussion. That's what we do on the after chat. I will throw my key on here, so I'm pretty much done. Remember that PCB we broke off? The knob gets attached, and that's your key. So it builds. That's it. That's pretty much the build. I just have to throw on a couple of washers and a nut. I see why they mentioned the nail polish. There's not many threads biting in on this. I forgot about that. Ooh.
Your audio jacks that you put in there, they have 3 pins but 4 holes. Is that right on your boards too?
6 holes?
Yeah.
6 holes. I'm looking.
And then you want the large diameter holes for the jack, or the ones that have the larger pads. All right, so that's what it should look like, as long as I didn't screw anything up. K8MRD says, Ham Radio Crash Course has a pretty big podcast. No, my wife, Leia, has a pretty big podcast. For anybody that follows the podcast, you'll get the reference there. Now, I believe there was something... Let me work through this. There was a comment because... how did I do that? Interesting.
How's the processor go on? I think I forgot to do that somehow.
The dot is towards the U notch, so it should be on the right-hand side.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Very interesting. Okay, so they changed the kit up a little bit. I'm gonna do a bit of movie magic here. I'm gonna slide another radio that I had in the oven on top of it. The spacers that they used were metal on the 30-meter kit. And this model, do you all have plastic spacers?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay. So that's interesting. You may have to give it a little of reverse tension, but not too hard to kind of gap it. Because when I installed mine, it was touching the board. I'm going to put my pen under there, see if I can get a little bit of memory.
Would you put different spacers?
The one on the 30, the spacers are metal and they're thicker. That's a little bit better. All right. That's right. Who was it? Fred Underhill. It's Leia's podcast. I'm just the weekly guest.
Josh, did you get your crystal socket in already?
I did, yeah. So you got to, take some diagonal cutters and cut down the middle. In fact, I have the piece for it. Let me hold it in the camera. So that's the socket. That's half the socket. And what I did was I just took the clippers and clipped it right down the middle. It literally jumped apart when I applied just a bit of tension. It just plopped right out. And then you take your diagonal cutters and cut that middle pin out.
Cool, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. That's pretty easy.
That's what I'm trying to fit in right now. It's giving me a heck of a time.
Oh yeah, once you cut it, it kind of flops around a little bit.
He must have gotten a deal on sockets because I would have used pin headers for that.
He used to. So again, let me throw it over to my my Cricut that just came out of the oven. That was the pin header that came with it on the 30, and it was a single pin header. And he used to use can crystals.
You might have just gotten those dip sockets for another project and figured instead of we buying multiple parts.
Yeah. They do have
Ben Heck?
They are perforated though, so it will seem to work. It seems to cut pretty easily.
Ben Heck just finished making up a single board computer, and he's just selling the kit, and he's just running through all the leftover parts in his shop, just getting rid of inventory.
Is Ben still doing YouTube videos?
Yeah, he's got his own channel now. He moved off of Element 14 and started his own channel.
Oh,
went
interesting.
Back to his own channel.
Is it still pretty good stuff? I always liked his videos.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the same staff.
Okay.
I think the channel's Ben Heck Hacks.
Okay. That's probably why I'm not. That's probably why I'm not seeing him.
Didn't he take a break for like a year and a half, almost 2 years before we restart the channel?
All right.
Oh, I see an antenna.
Well,
coax.
Yeah. We'll see. Oh, I should probably get the step IR on 40.
You said take one.
So we're at the point where we're at judgment time.
Yeah, well, I've got a capacitor in the wrong spot. I'm having to get out. So
I don't know that this speaker's gonna work, but comments in the chat were like, "No, it's not keyed correctly for this speaker." So we'll see.
Documentation on the website makes it seem like it should.
Oh, I don't have a crystal in yet, so that's probably a good idea.
Don't go making smoke on purpose for ratings.
I know, right?
Even though you would make K8MRD happy.
Oh, is that what he's waiting for?
Waiting for the
Oh,
smoke.
yeah.
Yeah, he's been asking for smoke for the past 20 minutes.
All right, we have a crystal installed. We have a battery. I don't know that this speaker will work. I don't know that any of that will work, but here we go.
They were saying plug a microphone into the speaker port earlier, unless I was reading that wrong.
Microphone? Whoop! We got side tone. So real quick, let me get my 7300 pointed over at it.
You're gonna be on 7030.
7.030.
Just send your kid outside with a ERP meter saying, "Tell me when the dial moves."
Yep. I'm getting it on the 7300 sees it. I'm curious.
Not hearing you.
Oh, probably not.
I didn't get a knob.
That's what
You
fell
are a
off your
knob,
couch. Chuck,
Maybe
that's
no.
that's
No,
under
I
your
didn't take
couch.
that out yet.
Uh-oh, the wife's in the chat now. Everybody give everybody your comments on the podcast. Leia's in the chat, guys.
Good job.
I
The
did
host of
not
the
get that.
the host of the Hammer Radio Crash Course podcast. That's a loud. You know what? Let me grab headset. Oh, I just lost a light. That's not good. What happened there?
The darkening.
What happened to my light?
Somebody's on 7030 right now.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
I hear
solid.
someone on 7030.
It's pretty solid on frequency. I'm on 7030 at the house, and it's right there. I didn't have to do, well, there's no adjustment that you can do to this. It's either going to be on frequency or not. So
Isn't that going to be more of the crystal you put in? How quality controlled the crystal was?
probably. I'm going to take the speaker out here.
Jeez, this one is
Oh,
7030.
yeah. Wow. Okay. I hear it on the headphones. I'm wearing an earbud. Let's see if anybody can copy. Oop. Wow, that's a touchy key. Careful with the key.
Did not hear you off the New York station, but there was like 3 other people having Q shows on that frequency right now.
Well, I'm not hearing that, so all right, let me test it on the reverse side here. So I'm going to key up from the 7300 into it.
Super chat.
Yep.
I did not get a knob. And I didn't drop that in the couch.
I love the caliber wars in the super chat. This one's 357. We've got 556. We've got 762.
All right, so the carries, Leia might be host. She's might not be the host. I think that's what he's saying, but she's definitely the star. I think so too. Leia is definitely the star. So I hear the 7300 in my ear when I key, and I have side tone on this, and it shows up on the 7300 on transmit. So I think it's working. It's not very fairly rudimentary of a radio, but it definitely works. Oh, my light went out again. What's going on here?
If you tighten these up.
Let me see what I have.
Are you getting signals from anybody else, Josh? Josh
I am
with himself over there.
No, I was just focusing on getting my call sign out on CW. I can hear me on the 7300 when I transmit with the Cricket, and I can hear the 7300 when I transmit from the 7300 very low power output on the Cricket. So, yes, yes, I guess. What am I using for an antenna? I am using a step IR.
That 9-volt battery is just give up everything it's got. And that looks like a Radio Shack battery, so it's already half dead.
It is. Yeah, it's already half dead.
Past its sell-by date.
Oh!
You all done?
Whoa! I just heard somebody. Okay, whoever that was, if they're...
All right, Leah's got hers built.
I just heard somebody. Man, my CW is bad. I hear you though. I just can't. I can't pull it out. Hold on. Wow, that's cool. It's real spacey. It feels really far away, but it's. Something ends in A? Did I get that right? No, man. It was that my call sign? And then do it again. Sorry. You're there. I'm so bad. I don't know if they're copying me or they're just going in the dark. That's crazy though that this works. I wish you could hear what I hear now. I wonder if I could.
Put your earbuds in it. Or your mic. Can you put it near a microphone?
Yeah, but I don't think it'll come through.
It will. I've seen it done.
I have got headphones I might be able to use. Let me see.
Not headphones, but the mic, like your microphone you're using.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Nothing?
Oh, shoot. I can't finish mine.
You're coming a little fast for me, whoever that station was, if you're actually watching the stream right now. I hear CQ.
How did you cut your...
It was a... It was a KI6T.
K6 TNT.
KI6T?
They're asking in the chat if it's KI6N or.
I got a K. I got a K. He's calling CQ again. Oh, M. It's KI6M. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. KI6N?
Well,
I got an M. It was da.
KI6M is in Cypress, California.
Oh, no way! That's hilarious.
Yeah, KI6T was in Tennessee, so... Yeah, KI6M is part... What at the very top of SKU is the Long Island CW Club.
That's hilarious. I'm getting ground wave to Cypress, California right now.
Leah's got hers working, and we just heard somebody tap out 73.
I don't know if they're getting me though.
I wasn't hearing you earlier.
So
And you
people in the
weren't hearing
YouTube
me.
chats are saying they're copying KI6 November, which KI6 November's gotta go for California. So, either way, both of those people are California.
I'm hearing KI6N or M Mary.
Are you getting a side tone on your radio, Josh?
Yes, you should have a side tone. That's one of the reasons this is it. Okay, I think that might be me. Where do you go to learn Morse code? The Long Island CW Club. Tell them Josh sent you from the Ham Radio Crash Course.
And Steve sent you, and Leah sent you, and Steve sent you, and Jerica sent you.
And many, many other people. Amazing group of people. I mean, they have like 10 classes a day on learning CW.
Yeah, those guys are awesome. I think it's more than 10.
It's crazy. Wow. This is working. I'm hearing Cypress. I'm hearing 2 miles down the road. That's crazy. So it sounds in my ear, it sounds like a really bad FM radio with the noise. It's specifically AM or FM, super high noise. But when the station comes in, super clear, really clear. But you know, they're in Cyprus, so they're 2 miles away. All right, I'm gonna turn this off for a second. I'm gonna check in with the panel. How's everybody doing? How we doing?
Mine works, at least it makes noise in some headphones.
Do you hear the side tone?
Yeah.
I had to unsolder a capacitor to get it back in there, so I'm just now getting to the almost done point.
But I did not get the knob.
Oh no! Well, that was cool though. It works. I heard somebody, and they seem to be coming back to me. I apologize, KI6M. I'll have to send you a message here after the fact and see if we could work something out. Or if you're watching, go to the Discord. You can talk to me directly. See if we can work it out. Work out a contact from 3 miles away or however far away you are. Yeah, see, I can't. Somebody's saying that they're on the K6 KFS SDR software-defined radio, and they're hearing a really loud station in there. I can't hear them at all, so... All right. Does anybody want to test theirs out, or you're good? They're good, right? Everybody's good.
I'm still finishing up.
Leah looks like she's got an MFJ speaker. Does that work with it?
It's putting out some weird noise.
Yeah, it's definitely making some interesting noises. We're trying to figure out why I don't have a side tone.
Interesting.
Well, what's the side tone actually?
When you key down, you hear it. You should hear it in your ears.
You can hear your own.
Oh, I set some headphones on into the jack, and I can hear mine.
When you key, you hear it. Yeah. Then it's working.
Except I have to hold it up so it doesn't touch because I don't have the knob. I didn't drop the knob in the couch.
In the couch. It's in the couch.
I would have found that. I have knobs, but nothing that fits.
All right.
The key assembly.
Pretty cool. Well, that was the best test that I've ever heard, because I heard that person back pretty fast. I don't think they heard me, but
oh, you don't think so?
Well, it seemed like they didn't repeat back my call. I only heard their call and a CQ.
Oh, okay.
But I am seeing my signal on the 7300. So I know it's working from that standpoint, but not otherwise. So yeah. Interesting. And my light died again. Wow, that's a big bummer. I'm going to have to replace this thing.
Okay, yeah, she's getting a side tone, but it's really faint on that MFJ speaker. So I'm just going to blame the MFJ speaker because I don't want to blame Leah.
If you put headphones on it, or here, I'll put the speaker on it again, and it's quite loud on the side tone.
And mine was real loud.
Screwed something up then.
Could be the 9-volt dying.
It's quite loud.
Yeah, I might just have to check a couple things.
my guess would be swap out the 9-volt for something else, another brand or something, see if that works.
Yeah, I have no idea how old these 9-volts are. They might be older than Josh's.
Yeah, and mine are old.
They're older than Radio Shacks.
Well, everybody, I don't know if you've got any extra time on your hands for this evening, but I think I'm heading over to the Discord after chat here shortly. This was fun. I hope everybody had a little bit of fun building a little cricket. Check out the groups.io if you're interested in getting more active with the radio. And there is a QSO, and it's cricket based. It's specifically focused on using the radio. So, yeah. You guys have any parting words before I flip over here and do my closeout for the stream?
I'll just say thanks again, guys, for the support of the Padawans. It's a good time on here, though.
Yeah, and again, thanks everybody on the chat. A lot of you, I'm assuming, are the ones who donated to make. Again, we got Steve a Hako iron, which is what I used today, which is what I have been using in most of my builds recently. It's pretty much my go-to iron. It's a fantastic iron. So if you're interested, check those out. And we sent like 8 kits, I guess, to I think the number's 8. Whatever was left, I put it all towards kits, and I rounded it out to be whatever the next one up was. And we sent those all to Steve, so Steve built it today, and he's gonna build it with the Padawans, and so we'll hear more information on that. We'll have Steve back on. Maybe he'll have some video for us or something to share on how the Padawans did with the cricket build. So yeah,
Absolutely, man.
I appreciate everybody coming on. Again, let's go, we'll start at the top. So we got Astro Leah. We have her link in the description. And her dad is also in the room, which is temporarily offline. He's also linked in the description. Thank you both for coming out.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to you for letting me have some fun with you guys tonight. It was definitely a fun birthday surprise. I did not know I was going to be doing this, but I'm really glad I did.
Well, yeah, and happy birthday. Congratulations on another trip around the sun.
Oh, yeah.
So next to me on the top right there is K5ATA, Good Game Ham Radio. Thanks for coming out, Steve.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to bringing back some video of Padawans on the air.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be great. So Tim, thanks for joining us, Tim. I appreciate you hopping on. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. We didn't get to talk much, so yeah. I mean, do you have a YouTube channel, or you just wanted to hop in and have some fun?
Oh, I've actually been looking forward to this build when the whole process started. So I did do well, but it doesn't work. I'm gonna have to go back through it again and probably rewatch the video to see where I messed up.
And so I noticed. I think right when we started the stream, we were talking about the cutting mats. And you look like you have the silicone mat that T.O. and I were talking about when you're soldering. That's the mat for that, right? It's also like anti-static and all that fun stuff?
Yes. Yes, it's S180A1. At least that's what it says.
So give it a burn test live on camera.
Yeah. Just jam your soldering iron right through it. No, don't do that.
It's cold now. I shut it off.
Oh, you should have done it just to make us all go, no, stop! That would have been hilarious.
Well, thanks for joining us, Tim. I appreciate it.
I appreciate being allowed, and this is great. That was fun. Even though it was me, it was a failure, but it was fun.
That was, I mean, I appreciate you hopping in. You got to have, you hopped into a wild Zoom chat that was live streaming on the internet to show off your soldering skills live. So, kudos to you for doing that. That's awesome. Get in touch with me if, watch the video, and if you're still stuck, send me a message and we'll get that cricket working. Or if I can, I'll point you to the group's IO page and let them help you.
Thank you.
All right, Chuck, how'd you do? Did you find the knob in the couch?
No, I don't know. I didn't have that open. That was the last thing I opened tonight.
But it's working, right? You got the side tone?
Yeah, I got it to work. I got the side tone. I didn't have the crystal one, but I still had a side tone.
Oh, okay. Well, if you put the crystal in, you probably... That'll help it, I assume.
So, did you cut your crystal so it's a little bit shorter?
I did. I cut the legs on the crystal to make it flush to the mount, to the pin header.
Anybody that makes this, you might get a really good magnifying glass, or use your phone as a magnifying glass.
Yeah, I had to use my phone a good bit.
I use the flashlight a lot again for the capacitors.
Flashlight was good too.
That helps a lot. So, Anybody want to talk about anything they got coming out? I know we've got Monday Night Ham Radio on Monday. That's a regular thing. There's a playlist for that. Make sure you you check that out on all these channels. Make sure you sub all these channels that are in the description. Anybody want to make a comment before I go and close her out?
We got one last super chat from WebPhotog1.
WebPhotog1. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And the easiest way to get the playlist for Monday Night Ham Radio and Thursday Night Ham Radio is to follow me on Twitter. I put it out on Twitter, and then everybody retweets it from me. And my Twitter is Kilo Mike number 9 Golf.
Yep, Tio does a good job keeping that thing going. So good job, thanks Tio.
And we'll give a thumbs up to Ape. He's kind of behind the scenes with the schedule too, right?
Yeah.
So Ape does a great job with the schedule.
Yeah, everybody does a good job on that side of the house. So, all right, guys. So I'm gonna say, 73s to the Zoom, and then I'm gonna close out the live stream here. So, thanks everybody for hopping on to the Zoom, and hopefully you join us over on the Discord if you got the time.
Sweet.
Yeah, 73. Bye.
73, folks. Take care.
73.
All right. So let me roll myself over here. Hey everybody. How's it going? I'm back. Okay. So again, thanks everybody for coming out. I super appreciate everybody hopping on and making that a thing we did. The build videos are sometimes hit or miss. So I appreciate there were so many people watching. Maybe you got to the point where you're like, I just want to see if this thing works. I promise you it works. I did hear that call. I don't know if they heard me, but it's working. I saw it on the 7300, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so I'm going to go to Discord here. The link is in the description, and Zach is posting the links there. Big shout out to Zach and Cameron for hopping on to the chat, the admins, also on the Zoom here for helping us out. I really appreciate that. There he is. Hold on. Oh, he hopped off. Oh wait, okay, don't go. You can wave now. There you go. There's Zach. Thank you, Zach, for doing that. I appreciate it. One of the admins. Appreciate that, Zach. All right. So let me say a big thank you to the patrons too. You guys help make this channel possible and everything we do. I really appreciate it. We will be having another vote coming up for patron picks. The newsletter. I'm like done with the newsletter, which is for all of you that are on the Patreon side of the house. You know that I'm like Saved by the Bell when it comes to the end of the month. But I bought a thing that I'm going to talk about in the future that made this newsletter this month a lot faster for me in getting it done. So I'll probably be talking about that in the future. But I'm done. So that means it goes off to the editor-in-chief, who happens to also be Leia. So my wife, Leia, is the one that edits the newsletter. So thank you, everybody, to the Patreon. If you want access to the newsletter or anything like that, that's a part of the exclusive content that we do on Patreon. Make sure to take the link in the description and check that out. It's $1 to get access to the newsletter, and it comes out once a month. Let's see. Check in the chat too. Yeah, I'm gonna do. I'll be calling CQ after this when we go to the after chat just to see if anybody can hear me. But I'm guessing that nobody hears me or I can't hear them. It's one of those two things, and I'm assuming it's the former, not the latter. So. Oh, cool. So Bubble Wrap says, was really glad to see something like this. Yeah, there's a lot of channels that do live builds like this. I've done a few myself. This is the first one that I've done with a group of people. And it was a lot of fun because, to be honest, me just talking about me building a radio is kind of going to be a little boring. But you bring some more people in. That was a lot of fun. So we got to hear other people's thoughts on the whole thing, and that was super cool. Shane Leanne says, Josh wears the pants in the family. Leia tells him which pair he can wear. You are not wrong, because usually before I walk out every day from my home to go to work, I say, how do I look? And my wife says, that's not appropriate for work. Go change. So, all right. So get on Discord, everybody. We're going to take the chat over there. If you have questions, all ham radio questions are open. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Wait, hold on.
That's cool.
You got it? Is that Steve? Good game? I think he's muted or he can't hear me. But he's excited. He got it working. I'm going to end the stream here, and then we're just going to jibe for a little bit. So thank you everybody again for watching this. I really appreciate it. This is a very long stream. I appreciate that. So I am going to kill it right now. I am Josh KI6NAZ. You've been watching the Hammer Crash Course. Please subscribe. Click that like button. Click that bell because I live stream every Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll talk to you later.